All right. We went out closer to town and found some barbecue chicken. So we're out. I'm a little leery whenever it comes to street food. I don't eat much of it, so if something was to ever happen, I can kind of narrow it down as to where I had eaten, right? But this particular place, it seemed pretty reputable. We were seeing people, going in and out of there. Uh, there were lots of people, so I said, okay, it must be okay, right? And once we got there, I kind of scanned the vendor and make sure everything looked clean. I looked around for trash bins and hand washing stations, right? Because I'm serious. Every street food place I go, I always look for hand washing stations, right? Because if they say no, I always question the vendor. So how do you wash your hands or the food, right? There's lots of factors, especially when you're dealing with street vendors, right? But and especially, and it's gonna sound a little weird, if it's a male or female vendor, it can kind of go either way. Because if there are no CRs or if there are no restrooms available, hey man, you get the point. Especially with men, because men will adjust anywhere. But that's a big one for me too. I mean, do they have anywhere to go to use the CR or wash their hands? You have to be careful too with street foods, because some street food vendors, I'm not all, I'm saying some. This is across wherever, right? It's not on the Philippines, it's anywhere, right? Are they using the best ingredients? How old is the grease or whatever they're using? Are the utensils clean? Uh, is it an open bay street vendor? If it's an open bay, right, not covered, right, you have all types of airborne, whatever, dust, pollen, whatever, in the air, right? So you have to keep those things there in consideration when you're dealing with street food, right? But my most of my experience in the Philippines has been great. Yeah, I got sick once, we just upset stomach, so to speak. Uh, and that kind of deterred me from street food, right? And and when most places are in the open, there are dogs, animals, and everything else running around, they can contaminate things also. But mostly in the Philippines, when you're out in the streets eating street food, there are going to be animals around. That's how most of them eat. It is what it is, you know. But I've had only good experiences with, street food. Like, I would probably say for every 10 good ones, you're going to find two that's not really up to par. So just hope you don't come across, those two in my book, right? And you have to be aware of what's called PAG, PAG. That is food that has been found in the dumpster from restaurants and stuff. Restaurants, like from McDonald's or anywhere, right? And it has been recooked and they serve it. It's mostly done in Manila. Yes, this is food that will be taken out of the trash and cleaned up, scraped up, whatever, and has been, reheated and is for sale again. It's called Pag, but it's mostly done in Manila. Never came across it, but I've seen videos about it. So you have to be, when it comes down to, because there's no health inspector walking around or checking the food, checking the meat. Is it on ice? The temperature is none of that, right? So you basically have to go off of your instincts, right, and your smarts and your common sense. So yes, street food is a great way to. It's a great way and an inexpensive way to get to know the culture in the Philippines, right? But most Street vendors are good, but you have to look out for the ones that's not. I've had nothing but great experiences, right? Just traveling and eating, right? But street food is a totally different beast because it's not regulated. And most restaurants are not regulated either. But you do have sanitary things in most restaurants, but street foods you do not. So that's something you may want to be aware of when dealing with street food. Yes, it looks good, right? But you also have to be aware of what's going on. We have a good time. Like the little dog in there, I had to feed him. You know, he's sitting there waiting. Hey man, are you gonna feed me?